Hey guys, welcome back. We're just sitting here doing our chrome foiling on our 67 Plymouth GTX car. Had the body been drying for a week and got back window foiled up. And I thought I'd do a quick video on how I do my chrome foiling. There's probably lots of videos out there, but anyway, everybody's got their own technique. And anyway, I thought I'd show you how I do mine. So before you even paint your body, first thing you want to do is if you're going to chrome foil, you want to make sure you prep it the same way you do your body before you paint. So anything you're going to foil, you want to make sure that you run over with your finger and inspect the surface that you want to foil and make sure it's nice and smooth. You may have to take a sanding stick or sanding sponge and go over the moldings that you're going to foil and make sure they're nice and smooth and soft. Otherwise, this foil is going to show every imperfection when you get finished doing it. As soon as you lay it down, you'll find those spots. So what I'm going to do today is show you. We're going to tackle this lower rocker molding. It runs from front to rear wheel well. It looks pretty straightforward. At least I can probably do this, hopefully, with my magnifying glasses on and a camera in my face. So I've got a piece of chrome foil already cut out. And the tools you're going to use, that I use, what I used to use were these things. Q-tips. I don't use those anymore. For the reason that you can see is all these little fuzzies, they all come off, and guess what they stick to? When you're pressing down your chrome foil on there, especially after you cut it, and you go to make sure it's always stuck to my finger. Make sure that your chrome foil is nice and laid on and tacked on there after you've trimmed the excess off. Is these little fuzzies like to grab hold of the edge of the chrome foil. And it looks great when you stand back and you go, that's not too bad job I did there. Then you start looking real close and you see all these little fuzzy things stuck all off the chrome foil all the way down the side, and you can never get them off because then you start using tweezers and you can't grab them, and then you worry about damaging the paint. So we don't use those anymore for chrome foiling. It has other uses, but not my chrome foiling when I'm doing it. What I do use are these babies. These are a Mr. Hobby. I'm going to call them a Q-tip. They're almost got a cotton pointy tip on the edge, but they don't have the little fluffies like a Q-tip has. So when you get a chance, guys, pick up a reasonable facsimile of these things. What are they? GT69 -300s, whatever. You get 50 in a pack, I think it says. Is there 50 in there? Yeah, there might be 50 in there. Anyway, number one thing. Number two, believe it or not, guys, is a toothpick. And I'll show you why in a minute. Third thing you want to have, you must, is a brand new surgical blade installed in your X-Acto knife. Don't use the hobby blades. I use the hobby blades for cutting styrene and doing other things. But when I'm foiling, I use surgical blades. They're thinner than what a hobby blade is. Anyway, so that's what I use for cutting my foil, is a surgical blade. So I've already got a piece of chrome foil cut out of my sheet, roughly about the length I want to do. And of course, longer is better than too short. Now I'm going to need some help because I'm videoing this and I've got a camera in my freaking face. And we're going to start this. Now watch me cut my fingers off. Trying to stay in frame, holding a surgical blade and magnifying glasses. Get this baby started. Alright, once we get it started, now we're going to go down for a second. Yes, we're going to get this baby. Where's my tweezers? There you are. Get my tweezers, grab a hold of this baby, and start pulling. Now what's going to happen is when we get to the end of this, This isn't in frame. Can I zoom out? No, I can zoom in, but I can't go out any more than that. Okay, I'll try and stay in frame here and show you what I'm talking about. Hang on. I'm going to get to the end and I'm going to show you what happens with chrome foil. Is as soon as you get to the end of this and it leaves the backing paper, it wants to curl up like a slinky. So what we do is grab it just before it leaves the end, just before it leaves the end of the paper. And what we'll do is we'll take our finger and just give it a couple little, slight little tweaks along the edge here. And then, if I can let this go without going crazy, there it goes. We're going back up. And I'm going to leave you for a second. I'm looking in the camera and trying to make sure I'm focused and in frame. So we're going to go lay this down. And you start to run your finger over it really lightly, just so you can get it tacked on there. Yep, and we're crooked. That's better. All right, helping hands out of the way. Now, we want to find the, where's my little pointy Q-tip, we're going to call them. Need to find the center of this molding. There it is. Now we're going to start in the middle and work our way out. Come on. Oh, really? And they're nice and pointy so you can get into the corners half decent. But we're going to double check this with a toothpick, believe it or not. Now what I do is once you've done that, going to get it laid down in the middle of that molding, and we're going to go over and burnish the outer edge of this with this Q-tip. Make sure that's nice and stuck on there. Alright. And then we're going to go over the outside edge. I'm still in frame? Look at that, we are. Okay. And this on the top edge of this, molding, right from the door seams, lays down inside the door seam right along this bottom edge here. So I want to go kind of light here. And then what I'm going to do is use the toothpick to get down in that edge. Then we take our toothpick, find out what end we're going to use, something that's fairly pointy. And what you're going to do is it's pointier than what the Q-tip is, so we're going to drag this along that edge. Of course, not straight up and down, we're going to rip it, so you want to be really gentle with this. You don't need a whole lot of pressure. And just follow that edge. I'll do the bottom. And as I mentioned, you don't need a whole lot of pressure. Alright, now we got to deal with the front end and the back end. Now, Q-tip again. Work around the corner, reposition it. And make sure you got it in a laid down position. Yeah, I like it. Back end. All right, moment of truth. What I try and do is make sure that my knife never leaves the model, because once you make that cut down there and then go this way, sometimes you run the danger of not actually cutting that corner and joining it. So what I try and do is draw my line and then pivot my knife, keeping pressure on there, and then follow the body line. That way you don't have to worry about where you started and where you ended off. And also I find that I have to be in the right frame of mind when I'm doing this. You guys know, as model builders, that one of the rules of building models is you got to know when to walk away. Alright, I'm going to pivot again. Come on, foil, get out of the way. Not a girl. Not quite. There we go. And we're going to pivot again. And we actually went a little bit too far. So I'm going to do my first rule that I don't do. You start in a new position. Anyway, nothing like a video going smooth. Alright, the trickiest part is when we get to this door, because it's going to want to lay down. It's going to want to lay down right inside that crease, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to reposition the blade a little bit here. And kind of use the edge of the door as a guide. Excuse me. And we're going to reposition again when we get to the edge of that door seam. Right here. So, in theory, that should be it. Let's see what happens. We got a bit of a straggler up on the top edge, but otherwise it doesn't look too bad. See how whether you can see this in the camera shot or not, how it wants to lay down inside this door crease. But that's the portion we got to try and get off of here. It's right there. Without taking the paint off. Where'd my knife go? Very carefully. Get an edge started. Like so. Come on, baby. Work with me. Girl. And there are tweezers. And hopefully that comes off in one piece. Ta-da! Alright, that's done. We want to go over that with our Q-tip, pointy Q-tip again, and make sure it's all pressed down nice and firm. Everything's stuck on in its place, and it's not going to move. Oops, look out. Alright, that didn't turn out too bad, boys and girls. Anyway, few simple rules. Make sure your surface is clean, even before you paint. Same as when you're getting rid of body seams, you got to inspect these moldings and things that you want to chrome foil. Second thing, make sure you got a really good surgical blade, brand new one when you start foiling. And pick yourself up some of these Mr. Hobby little Q-tip things. There may be other brands out there, but those are the ones that I saw when I started doing my chrome foiling, and I ran across my cotton, my Q-tip fuzzy things happening on my moldings. Just drove me nuts. Anyway, guys, give it a try when you get a chance, and let me know what you think in the comments, and whether you tried this method or not, or whether you got your own method. Good on you. All right, guys, talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.